Good morning, everybody. I know I said before that I wanted to do a Why I Envy series, and I've been meaning to do that. Uh, I just said that like the last video, but I did have an idea pop up, and I've been meaning to fulfill that idea because the minute I thought about it, I was like, oh no, I need to do this, and I can get back to the Envy series next in a bit. But anyways, so yes, good morning. This is your resident average Joe. Just Nate, chilling in my car. I'm going to keep it short for this video because don't really want to like throw everything at once. So I'm gonna keep it short, like maybe around. I may have a timer going on right now, so we'll see how that goes. Which I remember they said like ENFPs it works better with a deadline, so maybe that's how it's gonna work for me. Although that can also just translate to me talking way faster than I should. But I mean, YouTube has an option to slow down speech, so if that's your take, then by all means. um, what I want to talk about is what it means to be a type 7. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because I don't really necessarily notice or have seen a lot of stuff about 7s, and I don't know why that is. I could be very wrong though. There could be a lot out there and I just haven't been looking enough. And if there is a lot, then here I am, I'm just dropping one of many. And if there isn't much, then welcome to me talking about what it's like being a type 7. And for all the people out there, who could be curious about it. Now, quick disclaimer, I am going to try not to use a lot of MBTI, cognitive functions, socionic jargon, and terminology because I just want to isolate and just focus primarily on Enneagram. So any kind of particular buzzwords or certain words that I myself have feel that is very of the other systems, I'm purposely not going to use them. So I'm going to start using like alternative language to try to make it happen. And so with that being said, uh, I'm gonna just jump right into what it's like being a type 7. So my Enneagram journey, for lack of a better term, it's not so much a journey for me because when I was reading this description, 7 was the only one that kind of kicked in for me. The pursuing adventure, pursuing new experiences, it's always been a part of who I am for many, many years. Uh, it was not until I would say when I finally got the book on Enneagram and it got really intense, I would say, because the descriptions got really creepy and eerie, which I believe is kind of what whoever wrote, like whatever the authors of the Enneagram are trying to do, is to make you feel uncomfortable, because Enneagram is a typing system that really focuses on your core fears, your core motivations, the things that drive you to behave the way that you are. And that's a thing that I know for the other type it can get really disconcerting when you read about the things that you realize, oh, I actually do that. And putting my little flavor to it as a 7, my deal is that I am actually afraid of being afraid. And I think that the concept is kind of difficult for people to wrap their head around. I purposely reject uh, I would say negative emotions, negative situations, negative circumstances. It's and if I can't avoid it, I reframe it. And it's something which I find funny that other types have called it out as like, oh wow, like that's so interesting, like the only optimistic, the full on optimistic type. But there are things about being a 7 that we do have our fair share of challenges. And I don't think people fully get that. And I think that a lot of the in the type community tend to kind of throw us under the rug a bit. Not because we're useless in that sense, because in real life you would want to be in the company of a 7 at some point in your life, but it's more so because we don't talk about our problems a lot, like we don't talk about the insecurities, the differences, the issues that we go through. It's because of how we are naturally, like we just don't want to do that. It's very difficult to kind of in the typing community to actually like get involved and discuss some stuff with a 7. It's really hard for me, especially to talk about things that I'm vulnerable at. Like I would have to go through like a period of time spending it reframing every single negative thing so that it becomes palatable for me to address and to, you know, bring it out for the rest of the folks. And I think that's why it's really, I don't want to say it's kind of uncommon for how it is. Um, and so that's why I kind of want to bring it up a little bit. I will not go into, like, I can briefly go into my type, like personally, the whole seven wing, you know, six thing like little thing, and probably in a different video. But I just wanted to point out like the usefulness of a seven, because all nine types, they they give the person, or give another individual access or awareness of a different perspective. And you know, meshing all the perspectives together allows you to kind of have a more open universal mindset that's really important when you're trying to navigate through your world, because a lot of the numbers in the Enneagram are interconnected with each other at some point. And especially with the concept of disintegration and integration, you know, the whole point of subtypes, your triad, everything tends to kind of like fall into place. So I just want to briefly kind of like go through kind of the numbers, because like I know in the typing communities that some of the like some of them are actually pretty obvious. Like for example, like when you have a type 1, they're the people that will tell you when you're wrong. You know, the people who are the more, they believe, pursue what they believe is the most moral decision to make, and they repress themselves. You go to a type 2 if you want someone to be, you know, to put themselves out there to help you in some way, to carry with it, because in a sense the giving is what is the receiving aspect for them. The threes, where if you just want someone to just like set the goal for you, to just tell you what it is to succeed, get the job done, you know, produce that image that you need to garner respect. Like that's, you know, that's why you got the threes. You got the fours, who dwell on, can give you not, yeah, they dwell on the negative emotions, but they do so in a way that they try to process negativity in a way that they can find beauty in it. And fives, which, you know, if you find someone who's knowledgeable about something, who can detach themselves out of a situation and look at something from such a very objective point of view. And then you got the sixes, who will argue and challenge you, your viewpoint, to try to get you to really find the truth above all else. Then you got the eights, who just gonna like beat you up. I'm kidding. The eights will want to protect you. Eights are the justice fighters. Well, not maybe justice fight, but for justice. And then you got the nines, who can tell you to like relax and, you know, blend in with the, you know, with the environment and just like chill out. So with all this instead, like what do we sevens bring to the table? And I would want to say, like, sevens, we are like, we challenge you, like the person who ever encounters us in real time, in real life, to look at look at a situation, look at a circumstance, and to see that it's not that big a deal. Like, it's, yes, it's a big deal, but you're still alive. Like, yes, you're going through something hard, but like, it's not the end of the world. Like, it's not the end of, and we don't like sitting still and taking in, you know, the pain, if you don't have to. You know, like, there's an avoidance of pain in that sense, because why should we have to? Obviously the philosophy of like growth and pain helps you, you know, mature faster and all that stuff, but what we're talking about is more so looking at situations and not giving up. You know, like, that's part of our kind of take on it, which I don't know how the other types respond to that. It's just really fascinating to watch and to see, like, how we, you know, bring this to the table. Of course, you know, it's not going to be easy. I know for other, like, I know with like other, like, for example, with my parents, I can't give them the reaction that I guess they want, because I'm always a default like optimistic personality. Like, I like to look at the bright side of things a lot. But for them, they prefer you, like, if it's a sad situation, they want you to be sad. If you need to be angry, be angry. With me, it's not like that. If it's sad, I'm not gonna be sad because someone else is being sad, so that's not my problem. I'm instead going to give you the emotion that I think, well, that I'm just a default of. It's not that I think it is, it's just this is my default. Like, this is what I do. So it's really, really fascinating to, I, I guess I'm just fascinated with how it is. Like, what is it like to be me, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And I'm just saying, like, it's fun for the moment you, like, it's like the fun for that same moment that you read the first page about Seven. It's like the little small description, and you're like, oh, the fun-loving type. And then you're like, wait, no, Seven is the delusional type. And that's like basically what we really are. We tend to delude ourselves into thinking that everything's going to be okay, but that's not always going to be the case. And so I'm going to take a pause on that and like kind of go off to something else with well, sorry, for lack of a better term, we'll continue this in a different video, but I just want to bring that up a little bit as, you know, my part one into this little extra series about sevens, because I do want to give you guys a more realistic view on what it's like to be this type, to what it's like to think like one. Like, for example, and how to define yourself as one. Like, if you were wondering if you could be one or not, especially if you're a 5, what does it look like to disintegrate as a 7? If you're a 1, what does it mean to integrate to 7? Or as a 7, what does it mean to disintegrate to 1 or integrate to 5? What does it mean to have a wing 7 on both ends of, you know, the number, like if 6 wing 7 or 8 wing 7, like what does that mean? We'll get into that. You know, I'm just gonna keep it short, so it's short and sweet, so everyone can take it. If I am talking way too fast, I do apologize, because that is definitely my mode as I am. Do slow it down if you want to. That is what it is. That is what we're gonna do. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that little tidbit. I'm sorry it is a little short, but I am a little tight for time. That's exactly why, the reason why. But yes, like, I will get back to this, and hope you guys enjoy, and I guess I'll wait till the next one. Thanks.